on the East Coast in general, but in the Mid-Atlantic region, you know, just as well as Florida. And it's just like, you know, I can't stand the humidity. Should we go up this way? Should I do a straight on western lock or should I do southern lock? Is it a pissing contest today? A lot of men on the street. I don't know if there's a game going on. Oh, this is like the jail jail lookalike contest. Cape May. Going away for the weekend. Cape May is quite of a distance, you know, quite a distance from here. But at least they have a bus. I actually didn't know that, so now I know where they pick up. It's so funny. There's a guy in front of me, and he would be like a smaller version of someone I knew from Florida, although this guy has a mustache. And it's interesting how similar their body types and mannerisms are. So I kind of lost track a little bit of that friend. I care about people, but sometimes people can really like poke, instigate, agitate. In fact, there was, and I don't know why they do it. I really don't. So you could sit here and say, oh my God, what a beautiful sky, you know, say it was actually like bright blue. It's, you know, bright blue, and they would actually say, are you crazy? Do you think you're mentally ill? Look up again, it's not blue at all. And what do you do when someone does that to you? And just, we're at sunset-ish time periods, and there's a lot of clouds, it's overcast, but just say, it was a beautiful, bright blue, sunny day with a bright blue sky. And you're like, wow, look how beautiful the sky is. Do you think maybe you need to go to a mental therapist or something? It's not blue at all. Can you see correctly? Or, can you imagine someone like totally challenging you in the opposite direction? And you're like, and say that person had influence in the jail system. Could actually brain scramble people so much that they could convince the judge of a fallacy. They could convince them to lock you up, and you never did anything wrong. In fact, that person might have done something wrong. And that's how good they are, ladies and gentlemen, at obfuscating the truth in order to save their own skin. That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how scary that is. And these people have a lot of power. They're very intimidating. They have a certain type of voice. And it's like you feel like you just have to go along. They just sort of tell you what to do. A lot of men are even succumb to these types of men. They are always bigger. They always seem more manly. They always just sort of manhandle everybody. And it's like, it's on the odd side of how powerful some people can be, even if they're not good people. But they are very convincing. They often wind up in the field of law. In fact, that guy did. He was a prosecutor, worked his way up to drug cartels. I don't know if that affected his brain. I was like, that is weird. Say, that guy could lock someone up just to get a quota. They wouldn't even care about the truth. That's how bad that is. I just picked up 4 1.5-liter bottles of water from Trader Joe's. I almost got more, but it's a little bit warm and I didn't want to overload myself, and so I'll just have 4 more days of water. Are we turning here, or what are we doing? And I got other things this morning, but they didn't have water at Whole Foods, which I had hoped for. So instead, I had to make a run tonight for the water. Make sure I have enough. I need to make sure I get it in. It's usually easier in the summer to get it in because of, you know, how hot it is. But anyway. Nomination, that's when it came out. My hair is blowing in my face, so I have a couple strands of hair in my mouth right now. I have it in a ponytail, but some ends came out, and that guy there also had like an issue, and he had his hand up to his mouth, and for a second, for just a quick second, the idea came through that some people shut that horn up and shove it up his ass. Is that funny? For a second it came through that that guy needed to feel so in control that he wanted to see if by, you know, pulling his hair or whatever away from his face, if I would follow suit. This is a theory that's been going around, that people want to see if they can puppet you, even though it's not really puppeting. I might have had the natural inclination, like I gotta pull my hair out of my mouth, and say it just so happens coincided with him doing the same thing. So that was a theory that came up, and people will do it just to make you feel like you're puppeted, if we will, or controlled by other people. So anyway, I'm not sure if that's what he was doing, but that came up all of a sudden. And sometimes if a thought comes to your mind, or a theory, or like, I wonder if that's what it was, it might be true because it's on the airwaves. Like, you wouldn't think of it on your own, but it's out there floating around, and it wanted to reach your brain for some reason. So that's that. Dave's Hot Chicken. Word is they have a vegetarian quote-unquote burger, but it's like cauliflowers, you know, cauliflower burger, cauliflower steak-ish. Sometimes they call it cauliflower steak because they'll slice cauliflower in such a way that it's like a big flat round piece of cauliflower.